Lights on carry guns? I've got some thoughts. I'm Joe Kurtenbach. This is Lock, Stock, and Barrel. Within the personal defense community, there seems to be no argument about the value of having a handheld flashlight. It makes a lot of sense. I always have at least one or two within arm's reach. There's a lot of things you can do with a handheld light. You can scan a room or dark area and better assess your situation. You can also ID threats or positively ID targets, which is very important if you consider armed personal defense. As well, it can be a signaling tool. I know when I'm walking the dog and it's dark outside, if I see a car coming, I'm just going to give a little flash towards the ground so that that car knows I'm coming. I'm going to avoid a dangerous situation. So the uses of a handheld flashlight seem to be numberless. However, when we start talking about a pistol-mounted flashlight, the argument starts to get a little bit more blurry. There are a lot of the old school of law enforcement and gun writers that are really opposed to hanging stuff on your pistol. Now, while these are guys that I respect and when they speak, people ought to listen, I really feel like this is a topic that may be for a newer generation and I wanted to explore it myself. So I think a good place to start is by identifying and discussing the so-called negatives that are usually associated with pistol-mounted lights. The first one seems to be weight and portability. So the argument basically goes that guns are already heavy enough, we want people to carry them to defend themselves and others. By making them any heavier, it's going to deter that. And that's a sound argument, especially if your frame of reference is a government model 1911. It's going to come in at around 39 ounces unloaded, and it's already going to have a 5-inch barrel, so it's a fairly substantial piece of iron. And if you do happen to be a 1911 guy, but you prefer a more lightweight option, those lightweight commanders still come in at around 30 or 31 ounces, some even a little bit heavier. However, let's change the frame of reference for a second. Let's look at a Glock 19 that comes in with an unloaded weight of 23.7 ounces. Let's add to that one of the most powerful weapon-mounted lights out there, the Surefire X300 Ultra, a 600 lumen pistol-mounted light. Now the Surefire only weighs 4.3 ounces, and that's even with batteries. So your total weight is only 28 ounces, which is still less than a lightweight commander. How about another example? The Springfield Armory XDM 3.8 Compact. This comes in with an unloaded weight of 28 ounces. Now say you want to add to that a light and laser module, the Crimson Trace Railmaster Pro, which has a weight of 2.7 ounces with batteries. So all told, you're still right there in about the 31 ounce range, right on par with those lightweight commanders. So while the pistol-mounted lights do add some weight, I think that argument is largely overdrawn. As well, we see the newer generations of pistol-mounted lights, they're coming out in slimmer, trimmer designs and always shedding a little bit of weight. So I really think that the future in this arena, that argument's going to go away to a certain extent. Another argument that often comes up is holster fit. It's already hard enough to find a holster that fits your gun and fits your body in such a way that it's comfortable to carry every day. And your options become a lot more limited when you add a pistol-mounted light. However, even here there's hope because a lot more holster makers are starting to add SKUs that accommodate popular pistols with pistol-mounted lights. The Kydex holster market in particular has embraced the pistol-mounted lights. There are a lot of companies, and maybe for them it's a little bit easier because of the material they're using and the modern machines they're able to use compared to leather, but even recently, there have been more leather companies coming out with holsters that will accommodate pistol-mounted lights. Now, another point of contention is concealment. You add that light to the front of your pistol, and it's a larger package. This kind of goes in the same argument as weight and portability. But I would say the answer is still the same in that the lights and the laser modules that you're seeing, basically the accessories for those pistols are becoming lighter, trimmer, and as well, the holsters are becoming better and better at contouring to bodies and concealing firearms. You don't have to be in the personal defense market for very long to realize that everyone is pushing towards lighter, trimmer, and more concealable, and I think that trend is just going to continue. Now, a final argument I want to address, and the one that I think holds the most water, is that you cannot use a pistol-mounted light to scan and search. Now, why is that? Unless you know that you're in a 100% hostile environment, that light on the front of your pistol is more of a gross aiming device than an appropriate tool for scanning and searching. When you have a handheld flashlight, you can scan and search and your pistol can be pointed in a safe direction. But anything you illuminate with a pistol-mounted light, you are also covering with the muzzle, and according to the rules of firearm safety, you better be prepared to destroy anything you put that muzzle towards. So it's just not a safe practice. This is really a training issue, and it shows that while the pistol-mounted light has a lot of value, it is very valuable, especially in positively identifying a target and then still being on target to take care of the threat. It does not replace the role of the handheld flashlight when it comes to scanning and searching. Now that we've covered a lot of the arguments against using a pistol-mounted light on your everyday carry firearm, like I said, this is a topic I want to explore for myself. So for the next few weeks, I'm going to be carrying full-time a personal defense firearm with a pistol-mounted light. I'm going to be using the aforementioned Springfield Armory XDM 3.8 Compact, and I'm going to attach the Crimson Trace Railmaster Pro. It's got a green laser and it's also got a 100 lumen light. And I'm going to be using a Bravo concealment holster, which was made specifically for this setup. So with this combination, I feel like I've found a firearm light and holster that's going to work for me. I'm pretty familiar with all the products. I'm going to carry it for a while and report back here. So stay tuned at AmericanRifleman.org.